thing with Bubba, it's not his ability, because he's got the ability to drive the car. It's not the cars themselves, because they are fast now. I mean, Martinsville aside. But I feel like he just still, after what's it been, 8 years, something like that he's been a Cup driver.
He can't keep his cool.
He just loses his mind.
Yeah.
But the difference is he's smart enough that when he's in front of the camera to say the right things.
Yeah.
Now. But the pull all the cords out that make sense in your brain and just do dumb stuff, that's still there. And I feel like that's the final boss of Bubba Wallace. If he could just get a hold of his emotions, he could be okay.
The following is a production of
The Garage Area.
Welcome into the Garage Area. This is our post-Martinsville recap show. I'm Adam, he's Ryan, and I'm going to have to start with the most important news first, and that is that Duke is deader than Chase Briscoe's championship hopes. So we'll get that out of the way right off the bat. Chase Briscoe did finish 14th, but not a very good day. I don't even have my regular note sheet. I'm not even going to look at it because this race was pretty straightforward. There is just a couple of things that I want to look at surrounding the topic of the race, but other than that, I want to talk about drivers individually. I want to talk about Chase Elliott last, not because of any reason other than just I want to give you the opportunity to talk about him and how that race played out and have some questions as a Chase sexual yourself, how that all is going to pan out. Denny Hamlin pretty much dominated the race, led 292 laps, but doesn't end up getting the win, ultimately due to... Well, did you listen to Denny's podcast?
Yeah, I just got it done before.
I just finished it as well on my way home. Working overtime lets me catch up on Denny before I get here in the chair. But yeah, ultimately had a really fast race car, but didn't end up getting the win due to... are we calling it a loose wheel?
That's what he said on the podcast.
And that, I mean, you believe that's what contributed to him not being able to run down Chase?
I think so.
Yeah. So that's kind of the only time in the race where I felt like the faster car, what should have been the faster car, couldn't pass. But I felt like he had a legitimate reason why he couldn't pass him. So I don't really get the hate that I've seen for this race, because I didn't feel like there was any reason to be super critical of it or how it all turned out. Just it was a matter of at the end, the 9 car had a break and the 11 had a bad break. But people talk too a lot about the whole points racing thing, that they're saying that, there's going to be more of an emphasis on that, and you're going to hear guys talking about having a good points day and things along that line. Now that we've switched to this other chase style format, I don't feel like that was Denny's reaction. He was pretty annoyed that he ended up having a good points day and didn't end up with the win. I mean, he finished second, had a car that was capable of winning the race, and had one kind of slip away there. I guess ultimately on pit road is where you have to place the blame. But he wasn't worried about the fact that he scored more points than anybody else today. He was just worried about the fact that he didn't win the race. So I think that the emphasis is still on winning that trophy, and it's still on you're going to do what you need to do to win the race.
Yeah.
And you're not going to see stupid moves like Sammy Smith Martinsville, but I think you're going to see guys that nobody's ever going to settle for second place. But, even when Denny was relegated to a second place finish based on the mechanical, I guess, issues that he had, it's not like, oh, that's okay. We still scored a lot of points today.
Yeah, Denny obviously knew something wrong with the car. He didn't just try to limp it at home. He was driving in hard, trying to get to, I don't necessarily get to Chase's bumper, but trying everything different that he could to get a run on Chase, especially through lap traffic.
Do you think if he got there, he would have moved him?
There probably would have been some contact. He probably wouldn't have tried to do the quite 2017 move, but
how awesome would that have been? Not like it could have been any driver that Denny had that incident with where he dumped him in Martinsville. He's got the picture behind him in the podcast, and he has openly said that, like, I messed that up. I made a major mistake in that moment. And he went and did it again for the win.
I think probably at Martinsville, he probably had that moment, has that moment in his mind a lot if he
Oh,
was
I'm
behind
sure.
Chase, and I think he would have been smart enough to not try to pull that one off again. But I think he would have probably still tried a bump and run or something, but not to that extent.
He did do a little bulldozing earlier than that too. I can't remember. He moved somebody real hard. Was it?
The 42, John Hunter Nemechek.
Well, that was he was lapping him, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But there was a so that's a good
Oh,
point.
yeah,
John Hunter's in the way all the time.
yeah,
Like I would blame zero people for moving him.
yeah.
But the I think it was the restart. One of those restarts.
Chastain.
Was it Chastain? I couldn't tell if it was maybe it was either Chastain or SVG.
Oh, I think you got through SVG too.
He moved somebody pretty hard, and then that was kind of during the sequence that he squeezed Blaney into the wall also.
Yeah,
And just it seemed like he felt like he had to go right there.
yeah, yeah. SVG got moved quite a bit on that restart. So,
And I think there was like 60 something to go at that point.
it sounds about
I
right.
don't
Yeah,
remember for sure, but yeah, it was like Denny knew that there was a serious sense of urgency
yeah,
right there to get up to the front. But that's kind of a recap of his day. Uh, by far led the most laps and didn't end up getting the win. I think that Denny's going to be okay. I think he's going to be competing for some wins this year. I don't
yeah,
think that we've seen Denny's last win like some storylines were made up to a few weeks ago after Vegas. Did he win Vegas?
yeah.
Yeah.
He still scored the most points in this race. So
Yeah, exactly. I want to do a thing because I think we're at the point in the season now. Let's see if I can get this pulled up real quick. Uh, okay. We're at the point where at race number what? Bristol's going to be
eighth race.
something like that.
Yeah,
Can you tell? I'm going to name the track. You tell me who won.
this year.
Yeah, this
Okay.
year. Who
Testing
won?
my memory, huh?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much it because they kind of this to me is like the part where it kind of runs together a little bit.
Yeah.
So who won the Clash of Bowman Gray?
Oh, that was Ryan Preece.
Who won the first duel at Daytona?
Logano,
Who won the second?
Elliott.
Who won the Daytona 500?
That was next three are Reddick if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Daytona, Atlanta, and Coda were all Reddick.
Reddick, yeah.
Phoenix,
Wow.
we got him held up a little bit.
Phoenix. Oh, that was Blaney.
Yep.
Yep.
Vegas
That was Hamlin.
and Darlington
That was Reddick.
and Martinsville.
Of course, Chase.
Okay, yeah, of course, Chase. Uh, yeah, I always get myself to a point in the season where it's like, now I got to actually think about this. Who do I remember at the racetrack seeing them in victory lane? Yeah. All right. So that's where we're at in the year so far. So yeah, Denny. I don't think he won his last race at Vegas. I think he got plenty to go. I actually think that he's not said it out loud, but I believe he's shooting for 70 at this point.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of his moved target because he's at 62 now, right?
I thought that was a 61.
Is that all it was? Was it Vegas
think.
61? Because last
Las Vegas, he got 60.
that was 60, and he didn't win anything after that.
Not that I can remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. Did he win his way into the Final Four? Or that Vegas win put him in the
Yeah, I
Final
think
Four?
that Vegas one was what it was.
I think he would have won Phoenix. That would have been 61. But
Okay.
the caution came out.
So I don't think it's unrealistic for Denny to get 9 more wins.
I think he's got to race a couple of years yet, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's getting them this year,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't think that's
Out of the realm of
yeah,
possibility.
yeah, absolutely. Joey Logano, big bounce back from last week. I think he was 3 laps down in 33rd at Darlington, and he ends up 3rd place today, which is probably a little bit better than he had been running, I'd say, throughout the day. I mean, he was top 5 most of the day.
Yeah.
Well, definitely top 10, but right around the top 5. And I mean, he didn't lead any laps, but a 3rd place finish out of that day. That's good for them, especially. I was a little nervous after Darlington as to what was going on with that team, but do you think that? Do you think Joey Logano is a multi-time winner this year? I just want to gauge some feel on some of these drivers.
I think I still got to see more out of him. I think he at least gets one win.
Yeah,
Maybe at like I'll say a normal track, like a short track or mile and a half track or something like that. But if he gets multi, I think at least one of them is probably going to be a super speedway race or something.
I would sooner bet that the same thing that happened to Chase, to where he's a back half of the top 10 car, they take some sort of pit road gamble
Yeah.
and end up out front.
Yeah.
if he's going to win more than one race. Ty Gibbs ended up finishing fourth. He's got a lot of good, has had quite a few good runs lately. Do you think that Ty Gibbs wins more or less races than Joey this year?
The way it's looking, I'd say more.
Yeah, it would look that
Yeah.
way. So that with that being said, you definitely think he will win a race.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's hard to crack through and actually win, but I think we're back to where we were 2 years ago. That he's knocking on the door, and when he does, it's going to be floodgates, and that's unfortunate for people like me that don't like him. Um, William Byron, he was my pick in our garage area challenge. Ends up with a fifth place finish. He led 6 laps. He looked early on like he could contend with Denny for a second, and then when Denny got back by him, it was like, nope, this is the 11th thing. And I actually think that Byron finished a little worse than I was hoping he would,
Yeah.
as far as where he'd run. But Hendrick cars definitely don't look bad, but I don't think that they're. I don't think that they're up there with the Gibbs cars yet.
No, not yet.
You feel the same way.
Yeah.
Do you think that? Let's just pluck Blaney out of the Penske group. Let's say Penske was a single car team and it was just the 12. Do you think that 12 car is above the Hendrick cars right now?
I would say so. Yes.
Yeah. And he ended up with a sixth place finish, but obviously that damage from the contact with Hamlin kind of ruined probably a third place run for him.
Yeah.
Christopher Bell, I don't even remember him being a factor in that. Like, I don't even really remember him running in the top 10.
Yeah. I remember seeing him between where he's at in 15th place, because that's mainly where Chase had been all day, and I remember seeing them race each other, pass each other back and forth a couple times, but for the most part, that was where he was at all day, backside of the top 10.
Another strong run for Austin Cindric in eighth. They're picking it up a little bit. All of those Penske cars, and Barry finished in 10th. So if you wanted to say that Penske has 4 cars, all of them finished in the top 10. That was a big turnaround that I didn't necessarily see coming for this race. I didn't know that the Penske cars would be that strong, because it does seem like short tracks they struggle at a little bit.
Yeah.
And I actually expected a little more out of RFK, which we haven't even mentioned one of those cars yet because we haven't got there. Kyle Larson, 9th place finish, kind of similar to Christopher Bell. He was round, but not really a factor. Like, you never felt like he was going to win the race. And we already mentioned Josh Berry. SVG, great run, great qualifying effort, great run throughout the day. Finished 11th, but he definitely felt like a top 10 car to me, and just didn't end up getting that final position to be up there.
I think that final restart really kind of messed him up, especially Denny bumped him up out of the outside lane. I think he just couldn't get back down the line. I think you saw if you didn't get down out of the top line within the first few laps after a restart, it really took a toll on your tires and whatnot. And even then, once you got back to the bottom line, you couldn't cool your tires back down soon enough. Your people getting right back under you. So,
are we getting nervous about SVG being a oval factor?
I think he's getting there. I don't know if, to me, I think he'll get a win on an oval if he does this for a few more years. I'm not quite there yet on him winning speeds yet, especially with Trackhouse cars.
Well, that's the thing, though. He's way outperforming the Trackhouse cars.
Yeah.
I mean, the next closest guy is Ross in 16th. And he finished 11th. So, I mean, I understand that's only 5 positions between them, but SVG, like, he was a top 10 car.
Yeah.
All day long. And Chastain was not.
Yeah.
Chastain was on that same pit strategy as Elliott there at the end, correct?
Yeah.
And that's what even got him.
Well, Chastain. We're talking about. Oh, SVG was on the same strategy as Elliott. That's what put SVG in that top 5 for that restart. Chastain
stayed out.
Okay,
on
old tires, and that's why he fell. He ended up falling all the way back to what would you say, 16th?
Yeah.
Which I think when Chastain did that strategy, he was like 19th. So I mean, it netted him a few positions, but I think Chastain was hoping to go 30 laps or something, caution to come out, and he'd still be in the top 10.
Yeah.
But so some of that is strategy where Chastain running versus SVG ran top 10 all day. So
yeah,
he was the better Trackhouse car, period.
But I guess that's my point is, like you just said, well, Trackhouse doesn't really have the speed right now, but that's what I'm saying. SVG is still running in the top 10 despite that. Like,
Martinsville was SVG's best oval track last year, too. So, I mean, he's only getting better. At Martinsville, for sure, he's becoming a threat. I think give him a few more tries there, he'll definitely be better.
What do you think about Bristol? Do you think he has a shot there?
Um, I think to me, Bristol is kind of one of them high speed short tracks. I think there's still, I, th- I don't think he'll be there yet with Bristol. But
He was 38th last year, but he had a it says it lists his issue as his status was suspension, so he obviously had some kind of mechanical issue.
yeah,
I don't know where he ran in that race, but uh, and this is last spring's race too. And Chastain finished seventh there last year, so it's not like Trackhouse didn't have the speed. Um, so I'd be curious to see how he does at Bristol.
yeah,
I don't think that that's a bad track for him.
yeah. For me, at any oval right now, if he finishes, gets to the top 15, it doesn't really surprise me anymore. I feel like even at the mile and a half or whatnot, I've seen improvement. In the beginning of the race, he'll struggle, but it seems like by the end of the race, he's always running up through the fields.
Would you sooner believe that he's going to win an oval race, take the road courses out of it, or an RFK car?
Mm, I think I still got an edge on RFK.
That's Here's the thing though. If my thing with this is if SVG can take a top 10 running car like he had at Martinsville today and I mean, I keep coming back to it, but exactly what Chase did, to where they stay out there, the car in the clean air. If it's a narrow groove racetrack where you don't have a lot of room to search around for grip, and he's got the clean air, he's got the preferred line. I think that he could very very realistically win a race
Yeah,
on an oval. So I don't think that it's years away, like 2 or 3 years away for him to win an oval race. I think that if he is able to maximize opportunities like he had today, I think you could see it this year. I don't know. I don't.
yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's possible.
For me, I have to see some more out of him before I give it this year.
Yeah. I mean, you've always kind of been that way. You don't think that Denny's a good race car driver because he finished second. He had the best race car. I think that Hamlin might be able to win a Martinsville. uh, but it's just like Ty Gibbs. I mean, we both think that he could win a race, but he hasn't done it yet.
Yeah,
And
but I see top five performance out of him week in
yeah,
and week out. That's
yeah, I'm with you. But um, I don't know. I get what you're saying. Ryan Preece, Brad Keselowski, they both ran right together there, 12th and 13th. Expected more out of Preece, I think.
yeah,
He was your garage area pick.
yeah.
Um, I don't know if I just got sucked into the propaganda because there really isn't anything that made me believe that Ryan Preece could win this race. Like, there's nothing that should have told me that. It was just kind of like I don't know, they're kind of running pretty decent,
Yeah.
and he's not too bad at places like this.
For the most part, I wanted to use a pick that maybe wasn't one of the top tier guys yet and stuff. So that was for me, that was the best bet. He started 17th. He drove up to 10th in the first stage. I thought, all right, this is going to work out for him. And then I remember that first pit stop, he was 15th again. So I don't know if his crew all day was one of the slower crews. It felt like he'd go back and work his way forward and fall back and work his way forward. And it just never panned out for him.
I'm not even criticizing you for saying it was a bad pick. I'm saying that I legitimately had belief he could be a top
Yeah.
five car coming into this week, and I don't really have any reason to base that on though.
I think he was in practice. He was a top, at least just outside top five on speeds in practice, but it didn't show up in the race.
Well, Bubba Wallace will tell you that Saturday and Sunday are two different days. We'll get to him. Like we said, Briscoe kind of recovered, I guess you could say, for a 14th place finish.
Well, he went down a lap at least 3 times and kept getting a lucky dog.
Yeah, he was running at the back half of the lead lap for a lot of the day. You could say the same thing for Tyler Reddick. I mean, he got lapped also, right? I think he got lapped at least once.
I don't remember if he did or I remember Denny Hamlin passing him, but I don't remember if it was
Well, then he led the whole race. So
well, yeah. Well, I don't remember if it was through pit cycles, like if he
Oh.
stayed out or Denny had the fresher tires and was just getting back by him or what the deal was at that point. But um, he still didn't have the speed to compete for the win. So
No, I would say that was a disappointment for him. Um, there's not really anybody else that jumps out to me down through here. Justin Allgaier got a 22nd place finish. I don't think that's a bad day for him. Kyle Busch 24th, Austin Dillon 25th. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. Other than Bubba Wallace Where did Hocevar finish? He's kind of that guy that I'm keeping an eye on. He finished 17th.
Yeah, he was involved in that Bubba Wallace incident too.
Well, he was the Bubba Wallace
Well,
incident
yeah.
because Bubba said he got in there, misjudged it, and that was a total lie.
Yeah.
Like he wrecked the 77
Yeah.
because he was frustrated with him.
And Denny even said the same thing on the podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He. I mean, he said it very politely
Yeah.
and didn't call his driver out. But
Yeah.
that's yeah, definitely what took place. So with Bubba Wallace, he can drive a fast car.
Yeah.
You've seen it. I mean, he was second in the points to start the year for a while. I mean, it was going to be hard to take the lead in points because Reddick was winning everything. But those cars out of 2311 looked fast. They look comparable every week, no matter what. And minus Herbst, I don't know where he's at. But those two cars that matter, the 45 and the 23, if one runs well, the other one's running not that far behind. I mean, they're right around each other on the track. And you could say that was the same case on Sunday at Martinsville. But the thing with Bubba, it's not his ability because he's got the ability to drive the car. It's not the cars themselves because they are fast now. I mean, Martinsville aside, but I feel like he just still he's after what's it been 8 years, something like that he's been a Cup driver.
Can't keep us cool.
He just loses his mind.
Yeah.
But the difference is he's smart enough that when he's in front of the camera to say the right things
Yeah.
now. But the pull all the cords out that make sense in your brain and just do dumb stuff, that's still there. And I feel like that's the final boss of Bubba Wallace. If he could just get a hold of his emotions,
Yeah.
he could be okay. And I mean, you think of the things that he's done where he's just lost his mind. The first thing that comes to my mind is the Kyle Larson wreck.
Yeah.
That was Vegas, I think. I mean, that was insanity. And then to go over there and start shoving him after you get out of the car. This was just kind of a dude. You weren't having a great day, but you ruined everything. Like I think they said on the teardown that he gave away like 22 or 24 points in that whole incident, and they weren't running well. But dude, you're gonna need them points, and I just can't believe that a guy of his talent in what you've seen growth out of him that he just can't get over that last hurdle there of set your emotions aside and just be an adult.
It looks like he must have took his teammate out too, Riley Herbst, because he was out in a crash too. On had one more lap on Bubba, so I don't know how that.
That could have been. You wouldn't know the difference though.
Denny's pocket does.
In Michael's pocket.
Well,
Uh, yeah, that pretty much runs through the drivers except for the race winner. Was there anybody else that you wanted to touch on?
I don't really have anybody else.
Okay, so let's talk about Chase Elliott then. Where was he running? Like, where was his average running position throughout the race?
Just outside the top 10.
Okay. Do you know where he was at during that sequence of events?
I want to say 11th, 12th, or 13th.
So that he was where he was
Yeah.
running. Okay. Take me through the scenario. What happened in the race that got him from 13th to the lead?
He was. They said he was the first car to pit, but I think he may have been. Like, he was one of the first cars to pit road.
He was I remember him like he was the first car I saw on pit road.
Yeah, at least I must have been one of the front runners. 'Cause I feel like I saw someone pit just before him, but I think they may have just went a lap down or something. Anyhow, he was the first car to pit road, and he had such faster tires. And strategy was, these guys for the long runs, they're mostly save their tires. Instead of him trying to save his tires for the long run, he just went out all out till he was going to go till his tires gave up, or at a certain point, they were going to try a two-pit strategy, is what their attempt was. And
A two-stop strategy.
Two-stop strategy, yeah. So, then shortly after Danny got by him, he took the lead running so much faster laps. I think he was only like 10 seconds behind. I'm not sure what the time difference was. I mean, 10 seconds is half a lap at Martinsville.
Yeah.
So, but if you can gain half a tenth or half a second, I mean, a lap in tire speed, that's 20 laps, 22nd laps or whatever, that gives you the lead. So he came out 4 seconds ahead of Hamlin after pit stops. And then through all the chaos, the cars passing him on newer tires and whatnot stuff, and Hamlin finally got by him shortly after they found a brake rotor on the tracks.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So,
They found a brake rotor. I don't know that it was on the track.
well, it was on pit. Well, they at least found one on pit road. There had to have been some on the track somewhere because that's where Ty Dillon blew his brake rotor. But
Yeah.
anyhow, that's just kept him up front, and they all would change tires. And
So he was. No, I'm trying to, because I wasn't really watching that, so I was looking at other stuff during that whole pit cycle.
yeah,
So so he passed Denny for the lead during the pit cycle,
yeah,
and Denny passed him back.
yeah,
How far did Chase fall?
just a second.
Just that was it. Okay.
Yeah,
And then the brake rotor caution came out,
yeah,
and so then they all pit again.
yep.
And where did he come out of pit road there?
Second behind Hamlin.
Okay, so Denny still made it off pit road first, but that was the loose wheel stop for Denny.
Yes,
Okay.
and Chastain stayed out.
Okay.
So that's kind of where the important thing happened to state. That kind of set everything up because Chastain staying out on older tires. What really messed Hamlin up is he messed up the restart.
Spun the tires.
Spun the tires or missed shift or
He said he spun the tires on
Okay.
the podcast.
and that gave Elliott the chance on his fresh tires or equal tires with Hamlin to be side by side on the inside line. And fortunately for Elliott, he edged out ahead of Hamlin before Bubba Wallace lost his mind. So Bubba Wallace took out one of his own teammates and messed up his team owner's chance to win the race. It just kind of crossed my mind right there. But and then Chase was able to restart on the outside of Chastain on the next restart and didn't spin his tires past Chastain on the outside and set sail.
So it looks like the final run was 69 laps. So 23, 77, 38, 3, 7, 17, 33, yep, 35, 42, 43, 71, and 88 were all involved in that accident with Bubba Wallace. I'm not sure how that works though, because they have I'm noticing this. They have the 17 of Busher listed as involved in that accident, and he is also the free pass car. But I didn't think you could be involved in the accident and be the free pass car.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if they determine it's in the accident is some sort of contact, but not enough to
You weren't in the initial.
weren't the
stuff, yeah.
initial cause or whatever. I don't know.
So, I guess that. So with Denny being, Chase being, were they clear of Chastain yet? Or was Chastain still in the lead?
After the Bubba Wallace,
Yeah.
Chastain was still in the lead.
Okay, so Chastain's still leading, but Chase is ahead of Denny when the yellow flag
Yeah.
flies. So when they restart, does Chase restart outside?
Yes.
Okay, I was watching Logano at this point.
Yeah.
So he restarts outside, and he gets clear of Chastain after like 2 laps, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay, because I remember he had just enough runoff down the backstretch that he cleared him, and then was that around the time that Denny fenced? Or
Yeah. It was shortly after Chase cleared Chastain, Denny fenced the 12.
Blaney, yeah. Okay, so that all goes down, and then it's largely due to the loose wheel. You would have to say that in the last 70 laps that he's not able to pass the 9. How nervous were you that the 11 was going to run him back down? Because it looked at the beginning of that run like he was coming.
Yeah, I was like sick to my stomach just watching him last 60 laps, whatever it was when he was running them down. I'm like, I know it's going to happen. Just don't get your hopes up here, And then once that got down to the last 20 laps, and every time Chase passed a lap car or something like that, Denny would close up like, oh no. And then when Denny had to pass that lap car, it just felt like you could see anytime Denny got pinched off a corner, he couldn't gas up down the straightaway. He'd lose time. And every time Chase would get another car between them or something like that, the relief started to come. Once it came down a couple laps ago, I was like just hoping no caution, no caution, no caution. That was my only hope there at the end.
Do you think that the Chevys that he was lapping really gave Elliott a break and they didn't give Hamlin one?
They didn't. They definitely gave Elliott a break, but I wouldn't say that they race Denny too hard, but I don't think they gave as much room as they may have Elliott. Like I know a couple of Chevys that they made sure Elliott was by before the straightaway, and that way, Chase didn't get pinched off the corner or whatever, had to stay in the lower lane. Whereas I think some of the Chevys stayed, ran their outside line as best as they could still, and it kind of hindered Denny Hamlin's off the corner capabilities maybe. Um, I did notice that, but I think I still think Denny got held up by a couple of Toyotas. I know the 42 was lapped again. I think Denny had a little bit of a struggle to get by him, not as much as earlier in the race, um, but I think Denny going through traffic. I don't know if it was in line with the loose wheel or being in dirty air or whatever. His car just didn't get through lap traffic quite as well as Chase did.
Um, where you at on Alan Gustafson? The fan base, the Chase sexuals as a whole don't like him. They want to hang him from the tallest tree. Where are you at on Gustafson?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm definitely not as hard as all the other Chase fans out there and stuff, but there's definitely this is definitely by far one of his greatest Hail Mary throws or off strategy choices, I guess. I feel like he just tries to play so conservatively all the time. I mean, Chase is for the most part is a conservative driver too. I have some qualms with Chase too. I feel like there's times he needs to be more aggressive. I feel like we talk about Larson every time sometimes he wrecks his cars going for wins and stuff, but I think that's his same aggressive nature is what gives him all the success he has. So, I mean, Chase Elliott is obviously a consistent driver. I mean, I think he has the best average finish in the next gen era,
Yeah.
but everyone thinks he stinks because he's not winning these races. But I mean, in the Chase era, being consistent is going to help you too. So, I mean, I'm kind of torn between the two, but I think I think there just needs to be a little bit more aggression between Allen and Chase's side. But other than that, I'm not too hateful on Allen.
Um,
I'll make a joke or something, fire him or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But I don't like
anybody I think would say that.
if Allen Gustafson got fired, some other team would pick him up the next day.
Yeah. Well, it's the whole Steelers and Mike Tomlin argument, I think.
Yeah,
That if the Steelers ever got rid of Mike Tomlin, he'd have a job tomorrow.
yeah,
And that's but sometimes at some point it's just not working anymore.
yeah,
And I don't think that that's the case at Hendrick with Gustafson. I think he's very smart. Just from an outside perspective, I think he's got a very good ability to crew chief. He can still command a team and all that kind of thing. Obviously, you follow that team a lot closer than I ever would. And if you're saying that he needs to be more aggressive on pit calls, I wouldn't disagree with you.
yeah.
Um, Speaking of numbers, is 22 career wins correct? That's how many Chase has.
Sounds about right.
That sounds incredibly high to me. Like I don't know if it's just
Yeah.
because he doesn't win as many races as he used to, or if it feels like it took him a little while to win.
Yeah, it took him 99. I don't know. He won on his 99th or 100th start or something like that. And then he ran. I remember he won 3 races a year for his first few years. He was winning races. Then he 2020 won the championships with 5 race wins, and he's usually had at least 2 or 3 since a year since that, for the exception of the year he broke his ankle or whatever it was
Yeah,
he
yeah.
did.
That's
But
that's insane. Like 22 wins is a lot.
yeah,
It seems. I don't know. It seems like I cannot believe he's won that many races. But hey, great for him. Anything else that you wanted to say about your boy?
that's all I got.
So here's the question: where would you rate the race?
Um, because I see all the hate online. Because watching the race, I thought, oh, this is pretty decent. Not just because Chase Elliott, but um, just watching the rubber go down. Guys, previous Martinsville races, Denny Hamlin would have got stuck by lap traffic, and then been
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin lapped up to the top 20. I think.
Top 15, I
Top,
think.
was it that
I
far?
think it was 16th place was a lap down.
I don't know if it was by the end of the race, but I know at one point
19.
Yeah. So, um, yeah, I Denny Hamlin had a fast car, and he's great at Martinsville, and he put on a stinker.
Yeah.
So to me, I still give it a 7. I mean, obviously, I think it still could have been more exciting. I mean, even though it was exciting for me because Chase Elliott won, and I'm trying not to let that
No, I
change my
agree.
bias. So
Well, okay, so I guess what I would say with that is my thought as I was watching the race, I was very interested the first stage, I was very interested the second stage. As the third stage ran green, I kind of like tapered off as of being entertained, I guess.
yeah,
And to me, an entertaining race and a good race are not the same thing. They can be the same thing, but it's not. They're not mutually inclusive, I
yeah,
guess. But with even with the finish, like I felt like Denny was running them down. Um, I feel like Denny should have won the race, and
yeah.
that's not. I'm not taking anything away from Chase. I think that if Denny didn't have the loose wheel, he would have still passed him, and he would have passed Chase and went on to win the
Yeah.
race. So I don't know that it doesn't feel like Joey Logano at Kansas when Harvick was trying to catch him, and Harvick couldn't pass him.
Yeah.
It does not feel like that. It just was Chase had a good pit call, and Denny had a bad pit stop, a bad situation as a result of a pit stop. So as a result of that, he wasn't able to run him back down.
I thought the pit strategy was kind of entertaining to watch
Yes.
because I was each watching Chase Elliott how he came out so far ahead, and I think it'd have been entertaining if it had stayed green to see what
Yes.
Chase could have done on another pit stop. But I was entertained by it.
So I think with all that, as I was thinking about this in preparation, I was going to say a 7 also, and that does not stack up with the good race poll.
Yeah.
Have you looked at it?
Last I saw it was 50-50.
Okay. It's 49-51 right now.
Yeah.
So in no is leading the way with 51. So even with the Chase bump, I'm kind of surprised that it is that low of a rating.
So are you giving it 7
I'm
then?
giving it a
Yeah.
7. Yep.
Okay.
That the internet's opinion does not change mine.
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, that I was kind of surprised by how much I don't know what people want. Like it's Martinsville. You're not going to be side by side all. I mean, if you're side by side, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
uh, it's it's going to be that nose to tail. Can you drive it in a little deeper? You're making
Yeah.
up inches every time and just trying to get to that bumper and move somebody out of the way. Uh, so yeah, this race didn't bother me at all. I think that it lost some of its entertainment value in the middle of the third stage, but I was still very interested and intrigued by it.
Yeah.
I would say I guess that's how I'd have to measure it. Is I would say there's a 30%, maybe not even that high, all right, 20% factor of the race that I was like looking at my phone and not paying attention to what was going on.
Yeah.
So with that metric, I'm giving it a 7. Um, what else do we need to do? I don't think we're gonna do a show next week. So we're gonna be off for Easter as well. So I think that we should just go ahead and pick our drivers now. Well, first of all, obviously I finished ahead of you with the William Byron pick in fifth, and you had Ryan Preece in 12th. So unfortunately, that means that you get to pick first. But what's that do for the actual points?
You gained, what did I say? What is it? 21 points on me. So I'm still up by 43.
But I gained 21.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good chunk taken out in 1 week, just over a few positions like
Yeah.
that. But unfortunately, you get the first pick, and we've already talked about this before we started. And the same thing happened last week, where I had a guy in mind that I didn't think you would think of, and
Yeah.
you ended up taking him, which I'm very grateful you did, because it actually worked out in my favor. So tell the people who you taking this week.
So I'm taking Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I think that's a phenomenal. I think that Ty Gibbs not only is going to run top five, I think he's going to be a winning contender at
Yeah.
Bristol. I think that that's a phenomenal pick, based on how he's running and based on how he runs at Bristol, even when he's not normally running well. So I think that we're going to be. I'm going to be interested to see what the tire wear situation's like because it's been interesting the last couple times we've been there in the spring. Don't exactly know what to expect in that situation. So I'll be curious to see how that all pans out. I guess if I have to make a decision, I don't really have anybody that I love for this week. And so I think I'm gonna have to take a mid-tier pick. I still got Tyler Reddick on the board. I just don't feel like he runs great at Bristol. Am I missing that? Am I thinking about that incorrectly?
Yeah, last time I remember him running well at Bristol, he got spun out by uh, Priest or Busher or one of the RFK cars, or maybe it was a Stewart Haas. It was Briscoe, a Stewart Haas car
Oh,
on the
that's right.
dirt.
On the dirt, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm not going with him. I think Busher could run well. I still got him on the board, but I don't. I'm going with Austin Cindric. He's run well the last few weeks, especially at the short track thing. Hopefully, he doesn't lose his magic over the Easter break, and I'll be curious to see how he ends up doing. There's a couple other guys that I think could do. Obviously, Christopher Bell, maybe Joey Logano. Be curious to see how Daniel Suarez runs. I feel like he runs well at Bristol. In that 7 car, he's been pretty good. So be curious to see how that all shakes out. But I'll have to stick with Cindric. You've got Austin Cindric listed there on the sheet. There's no ends. I lost the
no,
logic.
I was on a
Uh,
different page when you I was trying to find.
is there anything else that we're missing?
As far as the Cup Series go, I can't think of anything.
We talked about the Cup race. We talked about the drivers. Rated the race. Um, Justin Allgaier won the O'Reilly race.
Yeah,
I didn't watch the race because I was away doing other stuff, and when we got home, that race is over and basketball was on, and I ended up watching that instead. But well, obviously, if the race was over, but uh, did anything spectacular happen in the O'Reilly race? I know that Lee Pulliam got a good finish.
yeah. He also stacked up the field, missing a shift and crashing a bunch of guys, but that was about the biggest.
Well, he stacked up the field and they crashed.
Yeah.
That's on them.
Yeah, the onus is on the driver behind, I guess. Is that what
Yeah,
they say?
I think so.
But I think Justin Allgaier had the fastest car and won the race. Wasn't much else to it, I think.
Corey Day ran second.
Yeah,
Solid performance from him.
yeah. I mean, I there was a point where I thought he may have been a bit faster than Allgaier at a point in the race, but I think once Allgaier got up front, he was. I think at that point, at one point, if you count Hendrick Carr as a JGR affiliation, all 6 of them were in the top 6. I don't think they were going to run over each other. So
Hendrick Carr is a JGR affiliation.
not or junior.
Oh,
I meant junior.
okay.
Yeah,
I was so confused.
J-
I was like, I don't count them.
I think I wanted to say JR or whatever,
Junior
but junior.
Motorsports.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Um, but they were all like Hendrick and Junior Motorsports were top 6,
Got it.
and until Lee Pullman or whatever how you pronounce his last name missed a shift, and that took out Quaffle, and I think maybe Quaffle was the only one that was taken out of that, but that messed up. I think there's so many different people in junior cars anymore. I'm trying to remember because I see Sammy Smith is still up there.
You got Roger
And
Carew.
Roger Carew kind of messed up his own race at the last lap, just driving.
What was the
too
beef
hard.
with him and Jesse?
Just Roger was trying to essentially drive through Jesse for a position for 6th or 7th or there, and it felt like I don't know if someone else spun him out at the end or whatever. But he just felt like he drove over his head his last lap or something's what happened with him. So, and
But you got it handled.
I guess.
Do you think that Allgaier's a Hall of Famer?
um, I one argument I heard is I feel like the system they have now. I wouldn't be surprised if they put him in the Hall of Fame, but it wasn't
No.
until
My question is, do you think he's a Hall of Famer? I don't care
Do
about
you?
the system. I want to know your opinion. This is an opinions program.
to me, no. And I never knew how to put it into words until I heard Dave's podcast today. And when he talked about, well, Eric Jones is running that 42 or 43 car for Legacy, he's not going to be in a Hall of Fame for anything he's done. But if he was down in Xfinity trucks, like Hamlin said, he'd have championships.
Yeah.
And that would put him in the Hall of Fame when he said that, I'm like, that makes so much more sense to me now. And I was on, to me, when they were doing, putting modified drivers in and stuff, like, I never heard of the guy before, I'm like, is that really, I mean, NASCAR affiliated and stuff? And I guess, I mean, to me, I know Denny said a tiered system, but if you want to make like a Hall of Fame per series or something like that, then
I
maybe,
like I
yeah,
like Jared's idea of you're going to recognize guys that contributed in other
yeah,
series, but they're not going to be Hall of Fame inductees.
yeah,
Um, I was on the Dale Jr. and TJ Major side of this last week. I was like, look, there's guys um, like you mentioned, Jack Sprague or Mike Skinner or some of these guys that in the Truck Series, uh, Ron Hornaday,
yeah,
they really made an impact in that series, and those are the guys you thought of when you thought of the Truck Series, and they won races. But then Denny kind of swayed me back the other way a little bit today with exactly what you said, but it is kind of it really is the Eric Jones example. Like, obviously, there's a reason that these guys choose. Like, Eric Jones, John Hunter Nemechek cannot be having fun
yeah,
racing. Kyle Busch cannot be having fun racing. Why wouldn't you go back to the lower level series and win races if it mattered as much? It doesn't.
yeah,
That's why they're in the Cup Series, And
yeah,
I'm sure that the money's different, but it's also like that's where the talented drivers are. They're all in the
yeah,
Cup Series,
yeah,
and I think for that reason, it's well deserved to largely put Cup drivers in the Hall of Fame today. There are people that raced back at the founding point of NASCAR in grassroots series that I think that as all things were equal at that point and then NASCAR became what it is,
yeah,
I'm okay with those guys being in the Hall of Fame for their accomplishments in those series and those things. But there needs to be probably in the 70s to where the Cup Series is just so far elevated above everything else,
yeah,
and everything from that point forward should be Cup drivers. It's kind of rare that we're on the same page with stuff like that, so I appreciate that.
yeah.
Anything else you wanted to touch on from this week?
That's all I got.
That's all I got too. Uh, so, like I said, probably aren't going to have a show. I'm just going to say now we won't have a show. It's a long season. It's a long season. Looking forward to Bristol big time. It's my favorite racetrack, and hopefully we end up with a pretty good race there. Um, are they taking the short track package there? Because it's been in the intermediate, I think.
I thought last year they went with the short track package too, and then this year they added horsepower. So I assume it's a short track package,
Okay.
but I'm not 100% sure.
We'll see how it works out. We'll be here after the race to talk about it. We'll see you then.
Yeah.
We're not a prediction show. We're a post-race show. So we'll see how that all shakes out. We'll be rooting for our drivers, the ones that we picked and our favorite drivers. I think that both Joey and Chase are decent at Bristol. So
Yeah.
like that time that Chase wrecked Joey at Bristol. I like to bring that up. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching and tuning in. Make sure to follow our socials. They'll be listed in the description. And until then, we'll see everybody after Bristol.